During our visit to North Platte, we also spoke with Nebraska Extension beef cattle reproductive physiologist Rick Funston about the calving and breeding seasons. We talked with Rick Tuesday morning about estrus synchronization, why producers don't want to overfeed heifers, and the importance of pre-calving nutrition.
Well, we've had a pretty good winter for getting cattle through on fairly limited harvested feedstuffs. We just brought our pregnant heifers home yesterday from corn stalks, and they come home in reasonable condition with a little bit of supplementation. I think now, though, it's very important to make sure that we balance rations or diets for these heifers so they're not deficient in anything going into calving, because nutrition is vitally important to that developing fetus, but also setting up that cow that hasn't lactated yet to produce high quality colostrum and milk, which really helps that calf get off to a good start with its immune system. And research has shown if we have diets deficient in protein and energy, that colostrum quality and quantity can be compromised, and subsequent calf health too. Maybe even more importantly, though, we want to have those heifers at least maintaining or gaining condition going into calving to set her up to breed back herself, with a little bit of caution of don't overdo it. We don't want them gaining out in excess of what they're going to gain during the breeding season, for example.
Why is it so important not to overfeed?
Yeah, in all the breeding females, sometimes we think having real high energy and protein diets are going to set those animals up for very good pregnancy rates. And again, I think moderation is the key, because oftentimes in a feedlot situation, we can overfeed energy and protein pretty readily with high quality byproducts like distillers and corn gluten feed. Corn's cheap now, tendency to want to do that. But if we have heifers and heifer calves gaining greater than they're going to gain when they're establishing pregnancy, we can actually have a higher incidence of embryonic loss. Oftentimes we think we need to feed a concentrated protein supplement to these first calf heifers after calving, and I think one of the things we need to realize is on an all forage diet, we really won't meet energy requirements for that first calf heifer with just roughage. So we need to really balance that, and protein may be adequate, you know, depending on the hay quality, but we may have to come in with something that's high in energy, may also be high in protein, but energy tends to be the first limiting nutrient in a first calf heifer and in her diet, because she's still growing, she's milking for the first time, and her physical capacity to take in roughage is much less than an older cow.
As you look at estrus synchronization, what are some things to shoot for in that regard?
Yeah, we want, in our breeding program, we want to make sure we front load the breeding season to have a high percent of females pregnant early, because I mean that literally drives the system of profitability in a ranching operation or any cow-calf operation. Those steers that are born early in the calving season are older, heavier, all the way to harvest if we choose to feed them. The heifers born early are greater fertility, they're heavier at breeding. So one of the tools we have to do that is estrus synchronization, and we have some excellent protocols, some very simplistic. We've got those on our beef website and a webinar on estrus synchronization on our beef.unl.edu website. We can use synchronization with artificial insemination. We're in the middle of bull buying season now, and people are setting up, and I think we often forget that synchronization benefits can also be achieved with natural service as well. A very simple program that we've used at the Goodmanson Ranch is to turn the bulls in and then 5 days later give a shot of prostaglandin, and that has really tightened up our breeding season and thus calving season. And I'm not advocating to calve earlier in the year. It's whenever it works for your operation, which is an individual decision.